Greetings, this is Skylar Saunders Singh. What's current? All right, I'm an atheist. Matter of fact, let's get to the ads first. Then we'll get back to the fact that I'm an atheist. My main man Peng has lifestrongapparel.com, lifestrongapparel.com. You will find fitness apparel, you will find all kinds of gear, you will find fruit infused sea moss of blueberry, pineapple, mango, elderberry, and soursop. I've tried the blueberry; it's excellent. I've heard that stories from himself, the main man Peng. He said that he ate a whole jar of the mango fruit infused sea moss, and it's not going to hurt you. It's completely healthy. Sea moss is packed with all kinds of nutrients. So I definitely suggest you go see lifestrongapparel.com and tell them that the goofy guy Skylar Saunders sent you. Also, BEEJACKSON 5478. That's B Jackson 5478 or just B Jackson on YouTube. He has sardines on the grill, fried chicken, and reviews of near beer or non-alcoholic beer. He has great conversational tone. He's a great humorist. He's got a great sense of humor. Check him out. Tell him that the goofy guy Skylar Saunders sent you. B Jackson on YouTube. Also, if you enjoy the sounds of Najee, the Fatback Band, the late Frankie Beverly and Maze, and Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Kim, then you're going to enjoy the musical stylings and the categories and the catalog that Spirit Smooth Tunes has provided. SpiritSmoothTunes. Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Check him out. Tell him the goofy guy Skylar Saunders sent you. In addition, if you like to see gaming, if you want to see firsthand, maneuvers from Call of Duty, go to twitch.tv/DOTFOCUS_. Twitch.tv/.focus. You will get a greater understanding of, the gameplay and the different ideas that go into it. It's great. It looks very real. It's very high quality graphics. So definitely tell Dot Focus that the goofy guy Skylar sent you there. Also, if you like to advertise or support this show, go to SkylerSaunders@gmail.com. SkylarSaunders@gmail.com. And just send me a line. We'll talk about, we'll talk about prices. It's going to be in the three figure range, but we can talk, about precise numbers when we get to it. So I appreciate your advocating for this program. It's run on the sponsors. It really is. That's the only reason why I'm doing this is to get the money, but I got to do quality work to get the money. So that's what the whole point is. It's like everybody's got to get the money. You have to pay bills. If you're older than 13 years old, you're paying bills. And sometimes you don't have to pay bills. You're 13, but 18 definitely, 21 definitely. All the way up to your dying day. So we all got to pay bills. So I'll work with you. I'll work with you. Also, if you want to be part of the club, the 100 Club, Skylar's 100 Club, all you got to do is send me $100 a month. For whatever reason, the guy that does it the most is Height. Height is my only person that does this. I don't know why. Beyond the point that he says, just keep doing your thing. He doesn't ask for much. He didn't say, "Oh, here's my business. Here's something you need to look into. Here's something." He just says, "Keep doing your thing, and I'll give you $100 a month." So that's what I'm doing. I like to get paid, so I put in the work. I put in the research, and I regurgitate it, out into the atmosphere. So that's just part of that. So it's for this year, it's $100. It may go up to $200. I don't know. He might be like, hey, I'm good at 100. I don't know what he's going to be like, but right now it's at $100. It could still be at $100, and I might raise it depending on my performance. If my performance goes up, if I get more viewers, if I get more people on board, then it will definitely go up. It will definitely go up to about 200. I'll multiply that, double it every time, and then after that's gonna be 400, 800, so on and so on, 1600. If people can afford that, I know that's asking a lot, but I do a lot. So, but let's get into this. Let's get into the story. That was my sponsors. I'm an atheist, so I don't believe in spirits or God or anything like that, or mystical ideals. I believe in the soul. I believe that every person has a soul. Some even animals have souls in a sense. They have unique characteristics in their personality and their entire being. That's what I characterize as a soul, not in the mystical sense of you having a piece of I don't even know what protoplasm. I don't that's beyond the bounds of reality, but it can ascend into heaven or descend into hell. That's not the soul I'm talking about. I'm saying that I'm an atheist because saying that there's a God is like saying there's a letter before A. That's what I'm saying. Okay, and you want to say that in any other alphabet, like the Greek alphabet, there's a letter before Alpha, or a letter after Omega, or a letter after Z. That's what I'm saying. Okay, got that out of the way. What I want to know is about coincidences. What are coincidences? That's the only thing I subscribe to, are coincidences, not, oh, that's a blessing or a curse or something like that along those lines. I go for, what is true, what is reality, what's happening. And I'm getting into the story right now. Kevin Liles has stepped down from his CEO perch at 300 Entertainment hours after the diddler, that's all I'm going to refer to him as, the diddler, has been brought up on charges and pled not guilty. So how are we going to even how are we even going to accept his not guilty plea when he lied about the Cassie incident? I'm not even going to get into it because everybody else has talked about that. I'm talking about Kevin Liles. Why did Kevin Liles step down from 300 Entertainment? What does he know? What about the 1,000 bottles of baby oil confiscated? What about all the white parties that he attended? Why is he stepping down today? Did he have some kind of deal with the diddler? Said, like, if I get caught up, you got to step down. You got to step aside. I don't know. It's real goofy. He has a whole letter. It's real. It's real creative. How he has the different songs within the actual letter. He said this is from the announcement that he said, a memo to his staff, a celebration of who we are. I'm just going to give you a few pointers. He said, throughout the past decade, we stayed true to our original vision and values. As we create the first ever label ecosystem in the industry, I don't know if that's true particularly, but all right, that's me just putting in my own 2 cents. But quote, he said, we celebrated trap queens, we dripped too hard as a lifestyle, and it was always a hot girl summer, even on our skis. So he had like little quotations, little designations of the songs that were put out by his artists. And he said he's focusing on decriminalizing rap lyrics in courtrooms and different settings, and he's focused on philanthropic endeavors. But why today? Why today? Today? Is it just a coincidence? Is it just coincidence? Just has nothing to do with the diddler, has nothing to do with his relationship to him. Kevin Liles was the former Def Jam president, and also was the vice president of Def Jam Island music group. So he's been in the business. He's been in hands in a lot of ways for a while. So he definitely has his hands on a lot of different projects and a lot of different artists throughout the decades now, really. But when it comes to the diddler, what does he know? What does Kevin Liles know? He stepped down today. But why? He didn't give. I mean, beyond the sense that he's saying, "Oh, I'm focused on philanthropic issues and decriminalization of lyrics and stuff like that." Why not do that last week? Why not do that tomorrow? You know, what happened with? I don't understand. I really don't. I'm still trying to string it together. Is it too obvious? I'm stupid. I'm a dummy. I get things real slow. I'm like, oh, that makes sense, and it's like really slow. But I think for him to step down today, after all the hoopla, you know, just seems kind of odd. Just seems kind of weird. Is it just coincidence? One thing has nothing to do with the other. I don't know. I've not. They hardly even put together too many articles where they mention Kevin Liles and the Diddler. Let's see. It says Liles has been with Warner since 2004, which formerly housed Diddy's Bad Boy Records, and he's been vocal defending the mounds of allegations against Puff. Yeah, well, that's kind of weird. I'm getting this from TMZ Hip Hop. Of course, the biggest music industry news of the day is the Diddy indictment. Prosecutors are investigating any felonious freak offs, as they're called, and everyone who knows something about them is understandably shook right about now. We spoke to Kevin back in April. He told us he never knew the Diddy he got plastered in the media after all the allegations made in numerous lawsuits and stuck by him. Liles' transition will happen as the end of it happened at the end of the month, and sources close to the situation tell us his exes could directly be tied to a massive shakeup happening at Warner. Several executives have stepped down, and Elliot Grange, 10K Projects founder and son of Universal Music Group chairman and CEO, Lucian Grange, has been introduced as the new CEO of Atlantic Music Group. So that's that. I for one don't think it's a coincidence. I'm just putting my 2 cents in. I don't think there's a coincidence. They must have had some kind of pact. They had some kind of agreement together. Say, look, if I go down, you got to step down. That's what the Diddler said to Kevin Liles. He said, if I get caught up, if I get in the web, if they catch me in the web, you got to go. You got to get your step down, son. You got to step down. You got to be out of here. You can't keep going on as a CEO thinking everything is fly, fancy, and free, and you think everything's gravy. While I'm in the tentacles of the law, that's not going to happen. That's not going to fly with me. I'm just. This is all conjecture. This is all alleged. I'm just throwing it out there as a non-coincidence. I'm just speculating. This is all speculative. This isn't based on facts or any ideas. Based on understanding of the Diddler's weird relationships with people. He's a weirdo. He's definitely a weirdo. So what would stop Kevin Liles from saying that he's part of Warner Music other than the Diddler? The Diddler probably had a hand in it. I don't know, alleged. Had some kind of way of conveying that to him and showing it and presenting the fact that if he ever got the notion that he would be in handcuffs and charged and then plead not guilty. It's like that's the boy who cried wolf. He really cried wolf on this one. It's worse than the boy that cried wolf. Because it's like he lied about the Cassie incident. I have nothing to hide. I'm paraphrasing, but he was just like, I did nothing to harm her or something like that. I didn't have anything. Oh, really, nigga? Really? In the video, it looks like a whole totally different situation. So we can't trust anything you say. Not guilty? Yeah, okay. I think guilty. And he put up $50 million bond, a $50 million bond. Because he's got it like that, obviously. Stole those rappers and singers' money like the diddler would do, and put up $50 million bond. That's got to be a record on somebody's level. Who can put up $50 million? He said he's going to put up his $48 million house that he owns, and the house that he gave, I guess he still kind of owns it, but the house that he gave his mother that was $2 million. Like I said, I'm not going to get all the way into the diddler. I want to stick with Kevin Liles. Kevin Liles seems like he was a stand-up guy. He seems like he was, about, the culture, quote unquote, the genre really. And I think 300, it produced, Young Thug and YSL. It produced the Migos, Megan Thee Stallion, many different acts. And, it just is just weird, very strange that he should just up and say, I'm stepping down, that's it. I'm out of here. Will we see other CEOs say, I'm good, I'm out here? He'll get a good parachute, I'm sure. Probably 10 to $20 million, maybe. I don't know. I'm. This is all conjecture again. I don't know how. I was way off with the Al Qaeda numbers. God damn, they did all of 9/11 for $400,000 to $500,000, and it caused that much grief and disgusting and nature and distress and economic blow. But on that note, Osama bin Laden said he was going to bankrupt the United States of America. Nigga, that was delusional. That was delusional ass nigga right there. He was delusional as hell. Bankrupt the United States because you knocked down a few buildings and hit, the center of the defense command. Please. All right, back to Kevin Liles. Kevin Liles, he definitely has, changed the game. He had his indelible mark on the game. But like Mr. Troy Star Terrain was saying, he was nearly crying over. Young Thug is like a son to me. So he has that going for him. He's gonna try to get the courts to not include lyrics by rappers or anyone else for that matter. I mean, Johnny Cash when he was alive, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Okay, so if there was actually a man in Reno and he was there at the time and he was shot, like could that just be fit together because he said it in the song? Bob Marley and goddamn, what's his name? Eric Clapton. If they actually shot a sheriff and let but not the deputy, would they be going to jail? Would they be in prison? I don't know. So this is a strange turn of events, as you can say. It's just very weird. It's very. It's got my head scratching. Kevin Liles, known Diddy associate, known throughout the decades, throughout the years, steps down the day after Diddy is brought up on charges. Doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. I'm stupid. Like I said, I don't know. But it just doesn't seem very coincidental to me. Doesn't seem that way. Seems like this is on purpose. It seems like this was, worked out years ago. He said, if I ever get snared, if I ever get the clutches of the law, if I ever get the steel bracelets of justice wrapped around my wrists, then you got to get out of here, my friend. You got to step down because it's gonna be bad. I don't even know why. I just don't think it's coincidental. I just don't think so, and it doesn't seem right. Something's amiss. Something's fishy. Something's weird. So I think Kevin Liles, stepping down. His whole idea of it was like almost celebratory. Like he said, and like like almost like he had a lot of years on him. He's only been in 300. Has only been around for almost a decade. That's it. They're about to celebrate the 10th anniversary. But he has been around since the early 2000s, and the 90s, and maybe even the late 80s. He wrote the song from he wrote it for another group, but it ended up landed in Milli Vanilli's hands. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, 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 I love you. He wrote that. So he goes back way back. He's going back to 4 decades. So Kevin Liles is that guy on that level, but I just don't know. It doesn't seem like a coincidence. It just seems like it's like connected. It just seems very connected. It seems like this is like supposed to have happened. Like they worked it all out months ago, years ago. I don't know why. It just seems too weird to me. I heard from Mr. Troy Star Terrain. He said, "What does Kevin Liles know?" He was like on this show. What does Kevin Liles know? And after I watched that, I go on to the news zines, the hip hop networks, and the hot new hip hop, and the hip hop DX, and they're saying Kevin Liles steps down from 300 Entertainment. I'm like, nigga, what? For what? Why? Why is he stepping down? Like they don't give you that much information. They don't give you that idea. But he has that heartfelt letter floating around the internets. It's like, okay, got you. It's just very weird, very strange. And just like the Diddler. Very weird, very strange, very hush hush, you see something and then you just look around, you pick up your champagne, you look at it, you see if you should be drinking it or not, and you put it back down. I don't know. Kevin Liles Diddler is a wild boy. He's not just a bad boy, he's a wild boy. And Kevin Liles, he knew him for like I said, for years, decades, and going way back. He rose through the ranks. He rose up all the way to the CEO. And it was a company that was founded by, hold on, let me see who it was. Kevin Liles, Leor Cohen, Todd Moskowitz, and Roger Gold. Everybody says the small hats. I say Jews, because that's what they are. Those sound like some Jewish names to me. Cohen, Moskowitz, and Gold. That's as Jewish as you're going to get. And I can say Jewish and Jew because my show isn't monetized. It's only monetized, like I said, through my viewers. I don't have super chat. I don't have super stickers. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Black people and Jewish people getting together. That's what Paul Mooney said, too. The late, great Paul Mooney. He said, you don't mess with blacks and Jews because they built the pyramids. Now, I don't think that's very true. I don't think that's a fact. But you get the sentiment. Blacks and Jews, he said, they can walk into your closet and come out wearing your clothes. That's funny to me. But yeah, Kevin Liles, he had such a, he had run for it, but his new endeavors, will take him to a different place, probably not as profitable, probably not as lucrative, but maybe be lucrative spiritually. Like I said, souls and spirits. I think of spirits as in your consciousness, your mind, your thoughts. That's your inner spirit and part of your soul. I use soul and spirit interchangeably, by the way. So that may, be good for his mind, and that whatever is best, for so there's no sacrifice. You choose a greater value over a lesser or non-value. There's no sacrifice. Sacrifice is evil. You don't sacrifice for anything or anyone, for any cause. That's the deal with sacrifice. So I think Kevin Liles, I don't know if he sacrificed. I don't think he sacrificed his way out of his seat in as CEO of 300 Entertainment, which is actually 300 EE Entertainment, 300 Electra Entertainment. It's like, all right, so it's a very strange world. It's such a weird world. We live in such weird times. But hasn't this always been like this since the beginning of time? Human beings, weirdos. There's a weirdo in the cave. He was just like stacking up leaves for no reason and then watching the wind blow him away. Like there's always a weirdo. But this is much serious, with Diddy, with the diddler. No Diddy. This is a lot more serious. And I think Kevin Liles has a lot to say. And maybe this was a maneuver. Maybe this was like he was saying, I'm getting out before they push me out. Because I know something. I know something about the diddler that a lot of people don't know about. And I think that it is, very on point to say that he is focused on being who he is. Kevin Liles has a way about him that shows that he is an executive, a father, a husband, and I don't know if he participated in the freak offs or anything like that, wherever they had at the white parties or anything like that. I don't know. I really don't know, and I really don't care because that's not my business. But unless he was hurting people, unless people were being cared, then I would care. But I don't know if Kevin Liles, he might have seen something, he might not have said something, and this has been going on for decades, and he just saw it and it was like he didn't pay attention to it. He didn't say anything against it. That's the strange portion of this whole fiasco. That's what I think is just so taxing to the mind. Is just will we ever know? I mean, like I said, TMZ was one of the only outlets that linked anything with Kevin Liles to Diddy. He was saying that he stuck by him. Will he continue to stick by him? That's the real question. Will he continue to stick by him? And I know Kevin Liles gets confused for probably not anymore, but before he went to Bali, he probably got confused with Russell Simmons. I'm pretty sure he had, because they really favor each other. I'm sure he had. When you see them side by side, you can tell them apart better, but they really look a lot. But this stepping down thing, it's just weird. It's just very strange. I just don't. What prompted him before? I mean, was he preparing for all this? Did he have this already in the bag? Did he already say, look, September 30th, that's going to be my last day in the offices. I'm going to focus on criminal reform of lyrics and the courtrooms. I'm going to focus on philanthropic endeavors. And that's going to be the end of it for me. I'm out of here. Y'all can say, do whatever y'all want. But that's it for me. I'm not doing anything else. So I don't really count on him, going beyond, saying something other than, exactly what happened. If he goes on the stand, he's not going to perjure himself. He's going to say the diddler did this and the diddler did that, and that's all I know. That's all I'm going to say. Or he's going to say, plead the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. All right. I don't know if he's gonna go on the stand. I was just saying a little joke. I doubt he'll be on the stand. I doubt it. I don't know. It seems kind of iffy, but anyway, what I wanted to talk about for the second half of the show is books. Of course, books. I'm reading. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books at the same time. Now, that's just for me. If you don't want to read 12 books at the same time, that's fine. I only read like a page a day. But I just thought it would be interesting to talk about books for a little while. And I know this is going to be real boring for a lot of people. But I don't care because this is my show and it's not going to be boring to me. I enjoy the fact that, there's a plethora of books. Everybody likes to say that word, plethora. There's just so many books, and people have said this many times. You'll never read all the books you want to read in your lifetime. That's just facts. And there's so many good books out there. You'll never know. You'll never treasure them because so many people write good books and some people write bad books, and they're still worthy to somebody else. Who knows? And maybe somebody else's good book. But I'm enjoying Rama by Arthur C. Clarke, Everything All at Once by Bill Nye, The Gimmicks by Chris McCormick, Michael Crichton's Airframe, Bruce Cook's Trumbo, Michelle McPhee's Mayhem, The Scarlet Letter. I read The Scarlet Letter in high school. I had a whole that's my famous essay. I got a C on it because it was very mediocre. It was not good at all. It was okay, but it wasn't very good. I'll never forget that I actually have that. I've shown it on the show before. But that was that. The Man Who Climbs Trees by James Aldrin. Kingdom of Gods by N.K. Jemisin. Joseph Heller's Catch-22. Jonathan Franzen's Freedom. Black Prophetic Fire by Cornel West. And of course, The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. It's all tore up. It's a lot of reading, but the words are all intact. But the cover and everything is kind of crazy. But I just love to read books. I love reading. It's my only way of gaining an understanding of things sometimes. I read about more about Al Qaeda yesterday after watching some documentaries. That threw me for because I'm thinking about all the people that are pro Palestine. Are you pro Al Qaeda too? Because a lot of things that cropped up about Al Qaeda said the U.S. is supportive of Israel. U.S. is supportive of Israel. U.S. is supportive of Israel. Over and over again, all the Osama bin Laden's notes, he's clearly defining that United States had, was responsible for some bombing in Lebanon or something like that, and there were like apartment towers, and that inspired him to, say, oh, well, they have towers, let's go knock those down. So reading is fundamental. Knowledge is power. All the cliches that used to be very profound and fundamental when they first were used, but are very true. It's a cliche because it's so overused, but it's still true. It's a truism. So I read also. I have to have the book on. I have to have the book on what's it called? Audible. I listen to Audible and I read the book at the same time because it's like an engagement thing. It's like your brain is wired to hear something, and to your eyes are taking in all the words at the same time. So you're trying to figure out, okay, I'm reading at the same time. I'm reading, and then I'm listening all at the same time, and I'm taking all this information in, and it just helps me a lot because my mind wanders when I listen to an audio. I'm just like, oh, did I missed like a whole passage, and I'm reading a book, and I'm like, did I turn off the stove? Like, I'm reading a book, and like all these different thoughts are coming to my head, and I'm just trying, to focus. So I have to read I have to read the book and listen to the audible at the same time. So I think if this is probably one of the best times to read. I mean, there's summer reading. Everybody says, "Oh, get your beach book." I always like to say, like, somebody on the beach has probably got like Dostoevsky or Tolstoy or or a play by Strindberg or Chekhov or you know like um hold on, let me see. I'm trying to remember the names. Hold on. And Ibsen is the other one. So Chekhov, Ibsen, and Strindberg are probably on people's reading list for the plays. If you just want to read the plays, and then you want to see them, that'd be cool too. But that's the power of writers. Shakespeare, god damn it, Shakespeare. I remember we read Hamlet, King Lear, Julius Caesar, um, the Scottish play. I almost said it. The Scottish play. If you don't know what the Scottish play is, just figure it out. I'm not going to name the actual title. But that was the draw to that. So we have to be very careful on what we select to read and everything like that. I mean, I want to read Mein Kampf one day, not because I'm a neo-Nazi or I'm for Nazism or something like that. I want to understand the reality, the mechanics, the mindset of this evil, horrific, terrible person of world history, Adolf Hitler. Not to call back to my Hitler days when I was writing, I was doing videos about Hitler, but you know, I'm a writer. I'm a writer by trade, as Mr. Choice Terrain says. But I'm a writer by trade. I got 2 top stories this month. So far, I could have even more. We'll see what happens. But yeah. So I write, and I want to be a reader. I just want to be like my stepmom. She's just a reader. She's not a writer. I mean, they always say this. This is the language they use in books houses. Um, you know, white people don't want to read it. Black women aren't going to read it, and black men don't read. And that's bullshit. That's not true. There's plenty of black men that read in prison. That's one way, and there's plenty of black men that go to non-prison, which is college, and they read a lot. And people that are college dropouts and high school dropouts, they read because they didn't get a degree, so they get their lessons through reading the words. And what is classic about the FBA experience is that they have been reading the Bible ever since they came over to these shores, and they're instructed by their Christian masters to understand and read the Bible. Some of them, some weren't allowed to read at all. Some of them were, depending on the context and the situation. But I just think that's fascinating. The irony, when black people couldn't read, you know, black people couldn't read. People they wanted to. Now they have the freedom. It's like, I ain't gonna read that book. And they got the movie, right? Like, it's just like the word nigger. Can't. He said nigger. Oh my god, he said nigger with an nigger, not even nigga or niggah. The word nigger. Oh my goodness. But when it was like the late 19th century and the early 20th century and the mid 20th century, when they were when they were shooting niggers, castrating them, stuffing their member or in their genitals in their mouth and setting them on fire and then stringing them up. That's when niggers should have had, they could have had a casket and with the nigger, saying that we're going to bury the word and the word is dead. No, nigger's going to live. Nigger's going to live and live and live. As long as I'm alive, it's going to be alive. Because it's a great reminder. It says that we have to say that there is a word that means something that has a whole lot of heft to it historically, and that the children should learn why nigger is a part of the lexicon, why it's a part of. It's one of the most incendiary words, but why is it the most incendiary? Because I just like slicing off their genitals, stuffing them in their mouth, and setting them in a blaze, and then stringing them up on a tree. And you can get that from multiple books, by the way. Multiple books delineate that, from Toni Morrison, James Baldwin, Colson Whitehead, all kinds of people that are very celebrated. And I salute them and recommend their novels. I read 3 novels by Toni Morrison. I only like one. I may like the other ones now. I might revisit, Song of Solomon. I tried to read that when I was like 16. I couldn't get through it because it's just so heavy. Like literally, the book is heavy. It's like 300 something pages, but the wording is so dense. It's so powerful. It's so strong. I couldn't lift. It was like lifting up a 500-pound barbell. I had to get her lighter weight. Even though it was still like 50 pounds. It wasn't like the 500-pound. The Bluest Eye. The Bluest Eye was one of my favorite books. It has such a powerful statement. And that's another weird thing too. Books being banned. What is that about? Why would you ban a book? What is the? And that's the reason why we need to have private schools instead of government schools. If we have private schools, ban the book. This school doesn't do that book. We're saying it by private. But once it's a government school, it can have every book, any book, anyhow. That's depending on whether it's mature or not. I'm saying like 18 or over. Not in a elementary school, something like that. Something I wouldn't like to have the Marquis de Sade, his works in third grade class. Like obviously that's just common sense. That just tells you that's not proper. That's not proper. That shouldn't be banned in that way, in that context. It should just be reallocated to a college setting. I don't even think high schoolers should necessarily read the Marquis de Sade. I think it's Sade. That's where you get the word sadism, by the way. And he has some. I tell you, if he wanted to get banned, he would be the one getting banned. His books, inspired movies like Sallow. If you ever have a chance, look up the movie Sallow. Look up that movie. Look up that film. That could change your life. That could change your view of things. It's got all kinds of ideas packed into it with a lot of, very dirty sexual acts, in very strange situations and violence. And it's a special thing. And the director was killed like a few weeks after or a week after it premiered. It's crazy, but banning books is just bullshit. It's complete bullshit. And that's what I'm not talking about banning, the Marquis Sade or Massac or anybody like that. I'm talking about people like Toni Morrison. Like, why are you banning Toni Morrison's books for high schoolers? They can understand the concepts and the style and the themes that go along with her books. I'm pretty sure they can. I was that age. I was in high school. I think I was like in 10th grade when I read The Bluest Eye. Wasn't a problem to me. I knew it was very harsh. It was very, tough to, it wasn't the easiest read. It wasn't like a beach read, but you could do a beach read. I mean, nothing's stopping you, but I mean, it was very difficult in a sense, in a lot of ways, but I got through it. I understood it very well. But it just took me to a point where I was just thinking about how, these books, and that's the weird thing. It's like all you see is these little cases with these pages in them, and what is inside them? What do they convey? What is their main project? What do they show? They show a whole host of different things. Like I'm reading The Fountainhead. I'm reading it for the fourth time, I think. Yeah, this is my fourth time reading The Fountainhead, and I learn something new, or I find something new every time. I learned that it's more humorous than I thought. It's got a lot more humor. It's got the various characters. How the unlocking of the character of their psychology. That's always fun to do. The description, she has some of the best descriptions of nature and of cityscapes and things of that nature. Ayn Rand just knew how to make a book. She knew how to write. She could write, as Dr. Yaron Brooks says. She could write, so it's very fundamental to read, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, just read the right when you get. I don't know how it is, but I read the virtue of selfishness, and I was like, I'm done with Christianity. Bye bye. That's it. I think it was the objectivist ethics. It might have been the objectivist ethics that took it, to another level with me saying that. But and even though he stabbed her in the back, Nathaniel Brandon, he definitely has some very thought-provoking works. He was like, the reason why she even messed with him in the first place was because the fact that he had a brain, he had a mind, he could think. But sadly, he couldn't control his emotional, you know, levels in his head, and he acted on the range of an animal, and instead of thinking it for a man. Um, but I think that with Ayn Rand, she definitely shows in her work, a totally different ideal, you know, you know, than Brandon, even though he did have. So I think that is encouraging. You know, it's pretty powerful. I think it's great. I think it helps. But Nathaniel Brandon he just couldn't keep it together. He couldn't keep it together. He couldn't keep it in his pants, literally. But he had some really good essays. To be honest, he had some really good essays. Salute to Black Cuddy, the only person in the chat room. Salute, sir. I know you already told 200 people about me. No, it's all good, sir. Salute. But yeah, so I just love to read, and Ayn Rand, when that just changed my whole scope of living. Virtual selfishness, and I think it was the objectivist ethics, and of course racism. Racism was like, hey, she just said it. The barnyard form of collectivism. That's racism, because that's what it is, like a stockade form of collectivism. You're basing people off of their chemical makeup. Because they have a lighter skin than you, you hate them. If they have darker skin than you hate them. Their nose looks like a hook, so you hate them. Their nose looks like it's been smashed by a shovel, so you hate them. What is that about? Where do we start that? I mean, That's how sad and sick we are as Americans and as people around the world. We can't get past it, but you can get past it if you read Ayn Rand. So this is like a commercial for Ayn Rand and Toni Morrison and James Baldwin and I hate, a lot of writers talk about, the marriage books. They always talk about the different relationship books. That's what I'm getting so tired and I'm so sick of. Like Jonathan Franzen, he has those books about his family and it's like his wife and they're having affairs and stuff like that. It's like so boring. It's so corny to me. But he has a style. He has a style that's distinctive. So it's like I can relate to it. I can read it. But overall, the themes are just a paltry. Just nothing. They're little bits. They're tiny little bits. So I can't really respect him on that level. But it just gets to me in that regard, in that respect. It's very distressing. It's very distressing. So we have to have our guards up when we read. You can't just read. You can't just like they say, read between the lines. That's one of the best parts when you can read a book and there's an underlying message in between all the lines you read. Like you can understand like he's saying she's a lesbian. Oh, he's gay. Without them saying, okay, he's a gay guy, but you can say, oh well, he's wearing gold boots and has the angel wings and booty shorts. Like they're describing him, and you're like, okay, that sounds really, it's really obvious, not very subtle, very obvious for him, but like he touched him very tenderly or something, or she was wearing spiked boots and lipstick and had tattoos and an earring in her nose like that, and her hair was shaved to one side, and like she sounds like a dyke. Okay, that's a dyke. Or you can be like very subtle and say she wrapped her hair around and she felt her knees and something like that. You're like, okay, she's feeling her knees. Okay, so it means she's probably a lesbian. But I don't know. It just seems very strange. Very strange how we connect to our books. Some people have books, they hold on to like Fountainhead, and it just continues on like that. We have and of course Atlas Shrugged. That just the way I like to think of it as Fountainhead is like, well, like, okay, so We the Living is like a skilled horse driver, somebody that's on horseback, but is very skilled and very, very good at, driving horses. Anthem is like a really spruced up sports car, really fast, really efficient, very technical, strong on the roads. The Fountainhead is like a really luxurious jet, like a full jet or just like a personal jet. But it's very luxurious, has all the amenities, and it flies well and gets people. It flies very fast. It gets people to. It's kind of like the Concorde or like the Boom. Now next generation of very supersonic planes, and so I think that Atlas is like a rocket ship. It takes you on another ride way out before you even realize that you're off the ground, you're out of in the outer space. That's Atlas. That's Atlas. So, I mean, I love Atlas. I read Atlas 3 times. It'll be my 4th time reading it. I just started it again September 2nd, trying to see if I can get, less than a year, because it took me a while. I mean, I read it for the first time in 2012. Then I read it again with a group in 2016. And then, or was it 27? I think it was 2017. And I just had I just read it by myself again for the 3rd time. But it is this jam packed. I mean, it has the different elements. Like in the Fountainhead, she uses actual names like Ford and Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and stuff like that. And Atlas, it's completely like she created an entire world. There's nothing you can look at besides the geographic locations. But she created the car company, Hammond Car Company, for example. I mean, there's so many other examples she has, Reardon Steel and stuff like that, and then Konya Copper and stuff like that. But that is, the reality we have to, live with. We have to live with the fact that we have to read. I mean, it really is fundamental. I mean, the way we get our news now is such a weird way. I try to read as much as I can. I have updates on my phone, my watch, my phone that tell me. So that's what it is like. That's what it's like for me anyway. I mean, you may say different. I don't read no books. I don't have to read no books, and that's fine. Go to a play. Go to a movie. Go to a TV show. Guess what they're all from? Written word. Every bit of them, unless you're watching a documentary, and even a documentary, they're written narration. Somebody's writing something. That's the power of the written word. That's what makes it so special. And that's why I gravitate towards books so much. I always love books. I've always tried to read. I've been reading since I was 4 years old. My dad taught me to read when I was 4. I knew how to write by the time I was 5. By the time I was 6, I was giving out poems to little girls, especially this one girl. Let's call her 80. Her name was Alyssa, but I'm not gonna give her a full name. But let's just call her 80. She definitely had a draw on me, and because I could write. And by the time I was like 9 years old, I was making up short stories, real short stories, based on the holidays. I'll do something for Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then New Year's, and then what was it, Groundhog's Day, or St. Patrick's Day, and on and on and on. I just have a story out about the different months, and that's what carried me to this point in time right now, where I'm a writer for Vocal.media, which you can find vocal.media, and just look up my name, Skylar Saunders, Skyler space Saunders, and you'll be able to find my work. I mean, it's going to be scattered. It's not going to be my latest work, I don't think, but you can definitely check that. So I definitely cherish that. I cherish the idea of me being able to read. I mean, shit. Some people didn't even learn to read. My stepmom's father, he never learned to read. Never. There's still people that are illiterate right now, as I speak, that didn't learn how to read. That's scary to me. That's like sad. That's really sad to me. It's sad and scary because there's so much you can enjoy, and especially from fiction. I mean, you can learn something from nonfiction. You can obviously, immerse yourself in the world in nonfiction, and sometimes, but you really can immerse yourself in the world when it's fiction, and you can derive more experiences from things that are imaginative. things that came from somebody's thoughts, beyond just the concrete ideals, but the abstract and the concrete ideals put together in fiction is what makes it really special. So we have to always combat the idea that a uh, we have a sense that there's going to be someone that's going to hold our hands, I guess, or be somebody that's going to beat us over the head with a book. This is how you read, bang bang bang, hit someone over the head. No, you pick up a book, you look at the table of contents. If it's a nonfiction, you look at the dedication page. There's one thing that Ayn Rand said about the dedication page. She said she didn't know who to dedicate to, but then she was like, of course, I got to dedicate it to Frank O'Connor, my husband. And she did it. I think she did it twice. I think she did it for the Fountainhead and Atlas. She may have done it for other ones, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm 100% sure about Fountain and Atlas, though. But I'm looking for that one girl, that one lady, that one woman that I can possibly be able to dedicate a book to. So if you're out there, just let me know. And I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I know this is like kind of an off day because of the big news yesterday, and I think this is kind of big news too, just because it's weird with Kevin Liles. And you listen to me talk about books for half an hour. So I appreciate anybody that came through. And I will see you sometime, probably at the same time tomorrow. Take care.